Welcome back to HD Old Coins 51. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of old HD coins, specifically the HD Old Coins 51 collection. These coins hold incredible history, unique designs, and stories from the past that every collector or enthusiast will want to hear. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting your coin collection journey, this video will explore the hidden details and value of these treasures. So grab a seat and let's uncover the history behind these remarkable coins together. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more rare coin discoveries. Top 1. Imagine holding a piece of history in the palm of your hand. A quarter that doesn't just represent 25 cents but a story that spans decades, connecting artistry, craftsmanship, and intrigue. Today, we dive deep into the 1966 United States quarter dollar, a coin that has sparked curiosity among collectors and historians alike. Our journey begins in a transformative era, the 1960s, a time of social upheaval, scientific milestones, and cultural revolutions. Amidst this backdrop, the United States Mint was grappling with a crisis, a nationwide coin shortage. This shortage led to significant changes in coin production, directly impacting the 1966 quarter dollar. To understand its significance, we must first look at its design. The obverse of the quarter features the iconic profile of George Washington, a design introduced in 1932 to commemorate the bicentennial of Washington's birth. Created by sculptor John Flanagan, this design has remained largely unchanged, becoming one of the most recognizable symbols of American coinage. The 1966 quarter retains Flanagan artistry, but carries unique characteristics that set it apart. The reverse showcases the regal image of a bald eagle, wings spread, clutching arrows in its talons. This imagery, a nod to strength and preparedness, resonates deeply with the American spirit. Yet, in 1966, this coin was struck without a mint mark, a decision made to deter collectors from hoarding coins during the shortage. Now, let's delve into the coin's composition. Unlike its predecessors, which contained 90% silver, the 1966 quarter was struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, a change introduced in 1965. This shift marked the end of an era for silver coins, aligning with the Mint's efforts to reduce production costs and meet public demand. Beyond its physical attributes, the 1966 quarter is steeped in mystery and rarity. While billions of quarters were minted in the 1960s, those from 1966 are notable for their high-quality strikes and occasional anomalies. Errors, such as double dies and misaligned strikes, elevate their desirability among numismatists. The story of the 1966 quarter doesn't end with its production. Its journey into the hands of collectors has been marked by intrigue. Tales of rare specimens fetching impressive sums at auctions have only added to its allure. For example, pristine, uncirculated quarters with exceptional luster and no visible flaws are coveted, often commanding prices far exceeding their face value. But what truly sets the 1966 quarter apart is its accessibility. Unlike some rare coins confined to museums or private collections, this quarter remains within reach for many collectors. Whether discovered in pocket change, inherited from relatives, or sought out at coin shows, it bridges the gap between history and the everyday. As we unravel its legacy, the 1966 quarter becomes more than just a coin. It is a snapshot of a pivotal moment in American history, a testament to the artistry and ingenuity of the United States Mint, and a symbol of the enduring appeal of numismatics. Stay tuned as we explore more about the value of this fascinating coin and why it continues to captivate enthusiasts around the world. Top 2. Imagine a moment frozen in time. 1981, a year filled with pivotal events in the world. From the beginning of a new presidential era to the evolution of technology and culture, it was a year that marked a turning point for many. Now, imagine the click of coins being exchanged at a bustling market, or a child's hand grasping a shiny quarter as they make a purchase with their pocket money. Among these everyday transactions was the 1981 quarter, a coin that would go on to have a unique place in the history of American currency. But what makes the 1981 quarter so special? And why does it stand out among the vast sea of circulating coins? To answer that, we need to look back at its creation and the historical context surrounding it. The 1981 quarter wasn't just another coin tossed into the streams of commerce. It was part of a series of transitions in U.S. coinage that reflected a country in the middle of both economic recovery and change. By the time the 1981 quarter was introduced, the United States had already shifted away from silver-based coins. Beginning in 1965, U.S. quarters had moved from 90% silver to a copper-nickel-clad composition due to rising silver prices and concerns about the cost of minting. This transition would shape the quarters minted during the 1970s and early 1980s, including the 1981 issue. The design of the 1981 quarter is one of the most enduring symbols of American identity. The bust of George Washington, our nation's first president, who had first appeared on the quarter back in 1932 to commemorate the bicentennial of his birth. Designed by John Flanagan, this simple, yet powerful portrait of Washington had become a hallmark of American coinage by the early 1980s. However, the 1981 quarter was not the same as its predecessors. The United States Mint, after all, was operating in a different financial environment. The nation had just come through the challenges of the 1970s, a decade marked by high inflation, rising oil prices, and economic instability. The government was eager to boost confidence in the country's financial system, and the role of coinage had to reflect that ambition. Minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, the 1981 quarter remained largely unchanged in its design, but it carried with it the weight of economic history. Yet, what makes this coin unique is its quiet place in the broader narrative of American currency during this period. The 1981 quarter marks the tail end of a long period of stability in U.S. coin designs. It was in 1999 that the U.S. Mint would introduce the 50-state quarters program, forever altering the way collectors viewed modern coinage. For those who collect with an eye on history, the 1981 quarter represents a final glimpse into the design continuity that had persisted through much of the 20th century. Despite its significance in the broader history of U.S. coinage, the 1981 quarter doesn't enjoy the same level of widespread recognition as, say, the 1964 quarter or the quarters minted during the 1930s. However, its understated role in coin history has not diminished its value or the interest collectors have in it. Unlike the silver quarters of the past, this coin doesn't have precious metal value to bolster its worth. Instead, it carries a more subtle appeal. Its connection to the time period, its place in the evolving economic landscape, and the legacy of the Washington portrait. Collectors of 1981 quarters often focus on the quality of the strike and the condition of the coin. Coins minted during this era often feature a high level of detail and a solid strike, meaning they are more likely to appear in excellent condition than those from earlier, more tumultuous times in U.S. coinage. Coins from both the Philadelphia and Denver mints can be found, and the key differences usually lie in their mint marks. The mint mark for Philadelphia is typically absent, while Denver coins carry a D mint mark, making these pieces fascinating subjects for those who seek out varieties. But what is the true value of a 1981 quarter today? Despite its circulation status, pristine, uncirculated examples of the 1981 quarter can fetch significant sums. Coins graded at MS 67 or higher can command prices well above face value, particularly if they have minimal wear and show brilliant luster. Uncirculated rolls, once thought to be plentiful, are now highly sought after by collectors who are drawn to the coin's historical context and excellent preservation. In fact, even circulated 1981 quarters in good condition can find their way into collectors' hands, although they generally remain valued only slightly higher than their face value. The real excitement lies in the higher-graded coins, the rare examples that capture the attention of numismatists. The 1981 quarter is not the kind of coin that makes the headlines at coin shows, but it is one that builds a solid reputation among those who seek to complete their collections with attention to detail. Now, let's dive deeper into the production details. During the 1981 minting year, the United States Mint continued its operations in the face of a recovering economy, minting a total of over 500 million quarters between both mints, Philadelphia and Denver. These coins were released into circulation throughout the year. The production was far from unique in scale, but what makes it fascinating is how the U.S. Mint's shift in priorities played out on the small, round canvas of the quarter. Over time, the 1981 quarter would settle into its role among collectors, growing in appreciation as it became a tangible link between a bygone era of coinage and the dynamic shifts of the future. This quarter, like so many coins, serves as a simple reminder of the changing tides of American history, frozen in time, and yet always moving forward. For those of us fascinated by the world of numismatics, the 1981 quarter is a piece of that story, one that marks the quiet culmination of a historical era and the transition to a new chapter in U.S. coinage. It may never rival the fame of more famous coins like the 1964 silver quarter or the famous 1932 quarter, but for those with an eye for the subtle, the 1981 quarter represents something truly special, a coin that speaks to both the past and the future. So, the next time you hold a 1981 quarter in your hand, take a moment to reflect on its story. It's a coin with more to offer than just its face value. It's a connection to the past, a symbol of the changes that defined an era and a lasting legacy in American coinage. Top 3. In 1986, the world was experiencing a period of dramatic change. The political landscape was shifting, technology was evolving at a rapid pace, and cultural movements were reshaping societies across the globe. The United States was no exception, navigating through the aftermath of economic challenges, the rise of global influence, and the changes brought on by the 1980s. Amidst these transformations, a seemingly small but significant piece of American history continued to circulate, a quarter dollar that would go on to intrigue collectors and historians alike. The 1986 U.S. quarter. Now, at first glance, the 1986 quarter may not seem any different from its predecessors, but behind its simple, familiar design lies a story worth telling. This quarter is not just a reflection of the year it was minted. It's a link to a broader narrative about American identity, coinage evolution, and the role of money in shaping culture and society. As we peel back the layers of history, we'll uncover why the 1986 quarter is more than just a coin that circulated during that year. It's a symbol of American perseverance, a coin that marks the midpoint of a decade filled with both promise and challenges. When we look at the 1986 quarter, it's impossible to ignore the lasting influence of its design. On the obverse, we find the timeless portrait of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. This design, which was introduced in 1932 to commemorate Washington's 200th birthday, became synonymous with the U.S. quarter and has remained in use for over 8 decades. Washington's face, immortalized on this coin, is more than just a reflection of a president's likeness. It's a representation of the nation's founding ideals, the courage, leadership, and vision that have come to define the United States. But the 1986 quarter is unique in more than just its connection to Washington. The coin was produced at a time when the United States Mint was undergoing transitions, both in terms of technology and the broader economic landscape. By the mid-1980s, the U.S. was coming out of the post-Vietnam War recession, and the country's financial systems were stabilizing. The shift away from silver in coin production, which had started in 1965, had now fully set in, with the 1986 quarter made of the familiar copper-nickel clad composition. This was a major break from the past, a move that reflected the changing economic realities of coin production in the United States. At this point, the quarter had long since ceased to be a symbol of wealth in its metal composition, but instead a vehicle for everyday transactions. The 1986 quarter was produced as part of regular coinage circulation, with the U.S. Mint producing millions of these coins to meet the demands of a growing population and an expanding economy. Over 600 million quarters were struck in 1986 across multiple U.S. Mint facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The 1986 quarter was minted in 2 versions, one for circulation and one proof coin, which was produced for collectors. The circulation coins, without a mint mark, were struck in Philadelphia, while the proof coins, produced for those who collected coins as an investment, were struck in San Francisco. The difference between these 2 types of coins lies not just in their intended use, but also in the way they were produced. Proof coins were struck multiple times with polished dies, resulting in a higher quality finish. The result was a coin that had a smooth, mirror-like surface, which contrasted sharply with the standard coins minted for everyday use. As we dig deeper into the minting process, we see that the technology used in the mid-1980s was advancing. The U.S. Mint had already begun employing modern methods like computer-controlled machines and high-speed presses to meet the increasing demand for coins. However, unlike earlier periods, the 1986 quarter was produced at a time when the U.S. Mint had successfully adapted to the growing need for mass-produced coins, while still maintaining the high standards that collectors had come to expect. The 1986 quarter is often overlooked by those who focus on more famous issues from previous decades. However, for collectors, this coin is not without its appeal. While the design itself did not change from previous years, the 1986 quarter stands out because of the high quality of the strikes and the condition of the coin when it was released. Most of the coins produced that year were released into circulation, but those that survived in near-perfect condition or were kept in mint sets are the ones that command attention in the numismatic world. Collectors are drawn to the 1986 quarter for several reasons. One of the key factors is its minting history. The 1980s were a period of innovation for the U.S. Mint, as they moved away from traditional methods and embraced new technologies. This coin represents a shift in the industry, marking a transition from older methods of production to more modern, streamlined processes. For numismatists, this moment of change adds depth to the coin's historical context, making it a valuable piece to have in any collection. Another reason for the coin's appeal is its role in the transition between the silver-based coinage of the past and the modern copper-nickel-clad coins of the present. The 1986 quarter serves as a reminder of the shift away from precious metals, which had once dominated American coinage. For many collectors, the 1986 quarter offers a window into a unique period in U.S. minting, a time when the country was navigating both economic recovery and technological advancements in its minting processes. As for its value, the 1986 quarter holds a unique place in the world of coin collecting. Circulated examples, while readily available, tend to have little value beyond their face value. However, high-quality specimens, those that are graded as uncirculated or even proof, can fetch significantly more. Coins that have been well-preserved and maintain their pristine details are in demand among collectors who are eager to add this specific issue to their collections. The real value of the 1986 quarter lies in its condition and rarity. Mint state quarters, graded MS, 65 or higher, are often sold at coin shows or auction houses for a price much higher than their face value. The highest quality examples of the 1986 quarter can even reach several dollars, depending on their grade and the demand among collectors. In particular, the proof versions of the coin are highly sought after, with prices reflecting their quality and limited availability. For collectors looking for a piece of the 1980s in their collection, the 1986 quarter offers a tangible connection to that era and a glimpse into the world of American coinage during a time of transition. As we reflect on the 1986 quarter, we see that it is more than just a coin. It's a small piece of American history that encapsulates the essence of the 1980s, a time of recovery, growth, and adaptation. It's a coin that may not hold the same immediate fame as others, but for those who truly appreciate the artistry and history behind U.S. coinage, the 1986 quarter stands as a symbol of change, innovation, and the lasting legacy of American coinage. So, the next time you hold a 1986 quarter in your hand, remember that you're not just holding a piece of metal, you're holding a part of history, a small but meaningful snapshot of the time, the place, and the people who helped shape the United States into what it is today. Top 4. The year is 1994. The world is a very different place compared to the previous decades. The Cold War is over, and global politics are shifting in unprecedented ways. The internet is starting to change how people communicate, and technology is beginning its rapid march toward becoming a central part of everyday life. In the United States, the economy is in a phase of growth and stability after the tumult of the 1980s and early 1990s. Amidst this changing landscape, one small but important piece of American history continues to circulate in the pockets of millions: the 1994 quarter dollar. At first glance, the 1994 quarter might seem like just another typical coin in a long history of U.S. quarters. But every coin has a story, especially one like the 1994 quarter, which is more than just a reflection of its year of production. It's a snapshot of a specific time in American history, a time when U.S. coinage was evolving in response to changing economic and political forces. The story of the 1994 quarter, much like the history of the quarter itself, is deeply tied to the growth of the nation and its relationship to the symbols of national identity. When we take a look at the design of the 1994 quarter, we see something familiar: the iconic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. The Washington quarter had become synonymous with U.S. coinage since it was first issued in 1932, and by 1994, it had been the design of the quarter for over 60 years. Flanagan rendering of Washington has remained relatively unchanged through the decades, a symbol of American strength, resilience, and unity. However, as is often the case with coins, small shifts in design and production can make a big difference. The 1994 quarter, like all quarters minted from 1965 onward, was struck in a clad composition, a mixture of copper and nickel. This change in composition, which had replaced the older, silver-based quarters, was a direct response to rising silver prices and the need for more economical production methods. The composition shift was one of the most significant changes in U.S. coinage history, and it forever altered the look and feel of American quarters, including the 1994 version. By the 1990s, the production of coins in the U.S. had become highly streamlined and efficient. The 1994 quarter, struck by the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, was part of the Mint's regular coinage output. Over 800 million 1994 quarters were struck, most of them for circulation, but others were produced as proof coins, sold in sets to collectors. These proof coins were struck multiple times with specially polished dies, giving them a much more polished, mirror-like finish than their circulation counterparts. Proof coins are often highly sought after by collectors, and the 1994 quarter was no exception. But what makes the 1994 quarter truly interesting isn't just the design or the minting process. It's the way the coin fits into the larger context of American numismatics. In 1994, the U.S. Mint was in the midst of a period of stability and continuity in its coinage, but this would soon change. The mid-1990s would mark the beginning of a new era for U.S. coins, as the Mint would soon embark on the state quarter program, which would forever change the way Americans viewed their quarters. The state quarters program, which debuted in 1999, would become one of the most successful coin programs in U.S. history, creating a renewed sense of excitement about coins and sparking a new era of collecting. In the years leading up to that monumental shift, coins like the 1994 quarter, although not groundbreaking in their design, played an important role in holding the place steady in American coinage. They were the familiar coins that people used in their daily lives, purchasing goods, making change, and, perhaps, sparking interest in collecting among those who would later embrace the excitement of the state quarter program. The 1994 quarter, in a way, served as a placeholder, a coin that was both a reflection of its time and a bridge to a future of new designs and new collecting trends. But what does the 1994 quarter mean for collectors today? When it comes to its appeal, the 1994 quarter isn't necessarily a rare or highly valuable coin in the traditional sense. However, for collectors of U.S. coins, there is a certain allure to this coin. Its status as a key year in the broader history of the Washington quarter makes it a desirable piece for those looking to complete their collections or those interested in the history of U.S. coinage during the early 1990s. For example, a 1994 quarter in excellent condition, perhaps one that was never circulated or one that has been graded by professional numismatists, can command a premium price. Collectors often seek out coins that are graded as MS 65 or higher, which are considered to be in mint condition with minimal signs of wear. A 1994 quarter in these higher grades, especially those that have been certified by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, can sometimes fetch more than $10 in the market. While that price might not seem like a huge amount compared to other rarer coins, the value of a well-preserved 1994 quarter can rise steadily over time, especially as collectors continue to show interest in completing their sets of Washington quarters. The 1994 quarter also has appeal for those who enjoy the art of coin collecting for the sake of history and nostalgia. For many people, the quarters they grew up with hold a special place in their hearts. Coins like the 1994 quarter, which circulated widely in the early 1990s, remind people of their youth, of moments spent at the corner store, or of the first time they held a quarter in their hand. Coins like these often evoke a sense of memory and identity, creating a strong emotional connection for collectors. These types of coins are especially cherished by those who collect as a hobby, not necessarily for investment but because of the connection to the past. Beyond the traditional collector, the 1994 quarter also holds significance for those interested in coin errors or special varieties. Some 1994 quarters may have been struck with minor defects or variations that make them more valuable to collectors. These errors can range from double strikes, off-center strikes, to even misaligned designs. Though not common, these errors add an element of excitement and discovery for collectors who spend their time searching through rolls of coins, hoping to find that elusive rare specimen. When we think about the future value of the 1994 quarter, it's important to note that its value is unlikely to skyrocket in the same way that rare coins like the 1932 quarter or certain silver coins have. However, the 1994 quarter still has significant value, especially as part of a collection of Washington quarters from across the decades. The coin is a piece of history, one that connects collectors to a time of economic growth and technological change in the United States. It's also a coin that marks the transition between the era of traditional, simple designs and the future of state-themed quarters that would follow in just a few years. The 1994 quarter, as a bridge in the U.S. Mint's ongoing evolution, plays a unique role in the story of American coinage. It's a reminder of how even the smallest, seemingly ordinary pieces of currency can carry great historical significance. So, the next time you come across a 1994 quarter, remember that you're not just holding a piece of pocket change. You're holding a small, tangible piece of history, a coin that represents both the stability of the early 1990s and the subtle changes that would eventually redefine U.S. coinage forever. Top 5. The year is 1996. The world is in a state of rapid change. The internet is beginning to emerge as a dominant force in shaping global communication and business. The economy of the United States is growing steadily, and the world is adjusting to the aftershocks of the Cold War's end. Meanwhile, in the United States, a coin that had been circulating for decades, a coin known to millions of people, was continuing its journey as a piece of American history. That coin? The 1996 quarter dollar. When you think of the quarter, you probably imagine the face of George Washington, whose likeness has adorned the coin for decades. But the 1996 quarter holds more significance than just the familiarity of that iconic portrait. It represents a specific moment in time, a year that was reflective of the economic and cultural conditions of the United States. To understand the 1996 quarter is to understand the context in which it was produced and how it fit into the larger history of American coinage. The quarter dollar, or quarter as it's often called, had long been a familiar part of everyday life. Introduced in 1796, it was a cornerstone of U.S. currency. Over the years, the coin had gone through numerous changes in design, metals, and minting processes. By 1996, however, it had settled into a more recognizable form. It was a coin made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, reflecting the economic realities of coin production in the modern era. This change from silver-based coinage, which had occurred in the 1960s, marked a significant shift in how the U.S. Mint produced its circulating coins. As we move into the heart of the 1996 quarter story, we find ourselves looking at a coin produced under the same long-standing design. The portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Flanagan's original design was introduced in 1932 to honor Washington's 200th birthday, and it quickly became synonymous with the quarter itself. This design, which had endured through decades of changes in the U.S. economy and society, remained the primary symbol of the quarter in 1996. But the 1996 quarter is not just about the design. It is a product of the time in which it was minted. The United States in the 1990s was a country in transition, and the minting of the 1996 quarter was part of that transition. In the years following the Cold War, America was experiencing a period of economic prosperity. The economy was growing, inflation was low, and the United States was on the cusp of technological advancements that would change the world forever. The 1996 quarter, like many coins minted during this period, reflects the calm stability that characterized this phase in American history. The year 1996 also marked a turning point in the world of U.S. coinage. For one thing, it was the final year of the Washington quarter design before the launch of the 50-state quarters program, which would begin in 1999. This program would revolutionize American coinage, bringing forth a new era of state-themed quarters that would be released over the next decade. In hindsight, the 1996 quarter stands as one of the last traditional quarters before the U.S. Mint embarked on a new, exciting chapter in coin design. Minting of the 1996 quarter was carried out in large quantities, with demand for quarters remaining high, especially for use in vending machines, parking meters, and daily transactions. The U.S. Mint struck over 1 billion quarters that year. The quarters were produced at 3 mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. These were the primary production centers for U.S. coinage, and in 1996, they were using modern minting technology to meet the high demand for quarters in circulation. The 1996 quarters produced for circulation were struck using the traditional method of coin production, with high-speed presses churning out millions of these coins for daily use. These circulation coins typically had a D or P mint mark, depending on whether they were minted in Denver or Philadelphia. The quarters struck for collectors, on the other hand, were produced in San Francisco and had a distinctive proof finish. These proof coins were struck multiple times using polished dies, which gave them a shiny, mirror-like surface, a far cry from the standard quarters that would find their way into people's pockets. The 1996 quarter was struck primarily for circulation, but it was also available to collectors in proof form, sold in special proof sets that included other denominations of coins from that year. These proof coins, with their superior quality and finish, became highly desirable to collectors who appreciated the artistry of coin design and the significance of owning a limited edition version of the quarter. For these collectors, the 1996 quarter wasn't just a coin. It was a piece of history, frozen in time and preserved in a pristine state. To the average person, however, the 1996 quarter was just another coin in circulation. It was a coin used to buy lunch, pay for gas, or simply carry around in your pocket. Yet, as with all coins, its value extends beyond its face value. It's a piece of history, a reminder of the United States in the 1990s, and a coin that holds great potential value in the world of numismatics. In terms of collector appeal, the 1996 quarter doesn't carry the same rare status as certain older quarters or limited edition varieties, but that doesn't mean it's without value. For collectors of Washington quarters, the 1996 coin holds a special place as one of the last years of the classic design before the dawn of the 50-state quarters program. Coins like these are often sought after by those building collections of Washington quarters or those who collect quarters from specific years. Even though the 1996 quarter may not have the rarity of certain other coins, it still holds significant appeal for collectors who want to complete their collections with pieces from each year of the Washington quarter's production. The value of the 1996 quarter depends largely on its condition. Circulated examples, especially those with wear or scratches, are typically worth only their face value, 25 cents. However, the value of proof coins and well-preserved uncirculated coins can be significantly higher. Depending on their grade and certification, a 1996 quarter in excellent condition can be worth several dollars, and proof coins in perfect condition can command even higher prices. This price fluctuation is what makes coin collecting so exciting. The value of a coin isn't always determined by its age, but by its rarity, condition, and demand in the marketplace. One aspect of the 1996 quarter that may surprise many collectors is the potential for error coins. Just like with other coins, slight mistakes in the minting process can lead to valuable error coins that are worth more than the average quarter. For example, a 1996 quarter with a double strike or an off-center strike could be worth significantly more than a typical quarter. These types of error coins are highly coveted in the world of coin collecting, and even small variations can make a coin much more valuable. Looking ahead, the value of the 1996 quarter may not rise as dramatically as that of rarer coins like the 1932 D or 1932 S quarters, but it's still a coin worth holding onto, especially if you're a collector. Coins from the 1990s may not be the first coins to come to mind when people think of valuable numismatic pieces, but as time passes, the 1996 quarter will likely become more sought after, especially as collectors begin to appreciate the role it played in the transitional years before the state quarter program changed the way we viewed U.S. coinage. And that's the beauty of coin collecting. The joy isn't always in seeking the rarest or most expensive coins. Sometimes, it's about holding on to a coin that represents a moment in history, a piece of the past that tells the story of the time it was created. The 1996 quarter, with its iconic design, its connection to the Washington legacy, and its role in the changing landscape of U.S. coinage, serves as just that, a small, tangible link to a pivotal time in American history. So, the next time you find a 1996 quarter in your pocket or stumble upon one in a coin jar, take a moment to reflect on its significance. It's not just a quarter. It's a piece of history, a snapshot of America in the mid-1990s, a coin that helped shape the future of U.S. coinage, and a collectible that continues to inspire those who appreciate the artistry, history, and value of coins. Top 6. The year 1997, a time when the world stood on the brink of a technological revolution. The internet was no longer just a novelty. It was becoming a vital part of everyday life. From politics to pop culture, the late 1990s were alive with change, innovation, and excitement. Yet, amid this whirlwind of progress, the U.S. Mint continued its steady tradition of producing coins that were not just tools of commerce, but also symbols of American history and culture. One such coin, the 1997 quarter dollar, tells a story that's both timeless and uniquely tied to its year. To the casual observer, it might seem like just another Washington quarter. But as any numismatist will tell you, every coin carries with it a legacy, a snapshot of the economy, society, and artistry of its time. The Washington quarter had already been a staple of American coinage for over 60 years by 1997. First introduced in 1932 to commemorate the bicentennial of George Washington's birth, its design by John Flanagan became one of the most enduring and recognizable in U.S. history. The obverse featured a dignified profile of Washington, while the reverse displayed the heraldic eagle, a symbol of strength and unity. By the time the 1997 quarter was minted, this design had become synonymous with the American quarter dollar. However, the 1997 quarter also represents the end of an era. It was among the last of the Washington quarters produced before the U.S. Mint launched the monumental 50-state quarters program in 1999. That program would forever change the way Americans viewed their coins, introducing dynamic designs representing each state and sparking a nationwide collecting craze. But in 1997, the focus remained on the classic Washington quarter. This coin was struck in two primary locations: the Philadelphia Mint, marked by a P mint mark, and the Denver Mint, marked by a D. Additionally, proof versions of the 1997 quarter were minted in San Francisco, bearing an S mint mark. These proof coins, crafted with extra care and a mirror-like finish, were specifically intended for collectors and were often sold in proof sets alongside other denominations from that year. The 1997 quarter was made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, a practical choice introduced in 1965 to replace the 90% silver quarters of earlier decades. This composition not only reduced production costs, but also ensured that coins could withstand the rigors of daily use. While the metallic content might seem mundane, it's a critical part of the coin's story, a reflection of changing economic realities and advancements in minting technology. For many, the 1997 quarter was just another coin jingling in their pockets, used to buy a soda, feed a parking meter, or complete a transaction. Yet, for collectors, it represents something far greater: a bridge between the traditional quarters of the 20th century and the innovative designs that would follow in the 21st. The appeal of the 1997 quarter to collectors is multifaceted. For one, it's a key piece in any complete collection of Washington quarters. Its relative abundance means that it's accessible to novice collectors, while high-grade examples, those preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition, are sought after by more experienced enthusiasts. Coins from this year that have been graded by professional organizations such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, can fetch a premium in the market, especially those with a grade of MS 65 or higher. Proof versions of the 1997 quarter, with their flawless surfaces and sharp details, are especially prized by collectors. Beyond standard issues, the 1997 quarter is also intriguing for its potential error coins. Minting errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or coins struck on the wrong planchets, are rare but highly coveted by collectors. These mistakes add an element of excitement and discovery to coin collecting, and even minor errors can significantly increase a coin's value. While the 1997 quarter is not considered a rare coin in the traditional sense, its value lies in its role as a transitional piece in the history of U.S. coinage. It's a reminder of a time when the Washington quarter was the unchanging workhorse of American currency, just before the burst of creativity and variety brought by the state quarters program. For those who hold a 1997 quarter in their hands today, it's more than just a piece of change. It's a piece of history, a coin that witnessed the last years of a century and the dawn of a new millennium. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just beginning to explore the world of numismatics, the 1997 quarter offers a fascinating glimpse into the past and a tangible connection to the enduring legacy of American coinage. So, the next time you come across a 1997 quarter, take a moment to appreciate its story. From the vision of its designers to the precision of its minting and the millions of hands it has passed through. This coin is far more than its 25-cent face value. It's a piece of America, waiting to be rediscovered by those who understand its true worth. Top 7. It's 2016, a year buzzing with global milestones. The world is abuzz with the Rio Olympics. Technology continues to evolve at breakneck speed, and political landscapes across the globe shift dramatically. Amidst these sweeping changes, the United States Mint quietly continues a legacy that dates back over 2 centuries. The production of coins that serve as both tools of trade and pieces of national art. Among these is the 2016 quarter dollar, a coin with a story that connects the past to the present and carries with it the hopes of a nation. The quarter dollar, often just called the quarter, has been a cornerstone of American currency since its inception in 1796. Over the centuries, it has seen countless design changes, material updates, and shifts in public perception. By 2016, the quarter had become a symbol of American heritage and pride, thanks in no small part to the U.S. Mint's ongoing America the Beautiful Quarters program, which began in 2010. This program celebrated the nation's natural wonders, historic sites, and cultural landmarks, and the 2016 quarters were a key part of this ambitious series. The America the Beautiful series was designed to highlight national parks and historic sites from each state, the District of Columbia, and U.S. territories. In 2016, the quarters featured 5 distinct designs, each celebrating a different location: Shawnee National Forest in Illinois, Cumberland Gap National Historical Park in Kentucky, Harpers Ferry National Historical Park in West Virginia, Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota, and Fort Moultrie, Fort Sumter National Monument in South Carolina. These designs transformed the humble quarter into a canvas for storytelling, showcasing the diverse beauty and history of the United States. Each quarter in the 2016 series shared a common obverse design, the familiar profile of George Washington. This design, first introduced in 1932 to honor Washington's bicentennial, had undergone slight modifications over the years but remained largely true to John Flanagan's original vision. The reverse side of the 2016 quarters, however, was where the artistry truly shone. Let's take a closer look at each design. The quarter depicting this Illinois landmark features a bold design of Camel Rock, a natural sandstone formation surrounded by flora that emphasizes the park's lush ecosystem. It's a tribute to nature's raw beauty. The Kentucky-themed quarter showcases a frontiersman gazing westward, symbolizing the pioneering spirit that defined early America. Behind him, a rifle rests on his shoulder, and the inscription, "First Doorway to the West," reminds us of the Cumberland Gap's historical significance. This quarter honors the historic town of Harpers Ferry in West Virginia, focusing on John Brown's fort. The structure, a key site in the abolitionists' infamous raid, is depicted in intricate detail, reflecting its place in American. This North Dakota-themed quarter captures the spirit of conservation, showcasing President Theodore Roosevelt on horseback, surveying the landscape that inspired his environmental legacy. The final quarter of 2016 celebrates South Carolina's Fort Moultrie, with a design depicting Sergeant William Jasper carrying the regimental flag during the 1776 battle against British forces. These designs were chosen through a collaborative process involving the U.S. Mint, the Citizens Coinage Advisory Committee, and local stakeholders. Each image underwent rigorous review and approval, ensuring that the final product would resonate with both casual users and dedicated collectors. The 2016 quarters were struck at three primary locations: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Coins from Philadelphia and Denver bore P and D mint marks, respectively, and were intended for general circulation. In contrast, the San Francisco Mint produced proof versions with an S mint mark designed specifically for collectors. These proof coins, available in both clad and silver versions, featured a mirror-like finish that highlighted the intricate details of their designs. For collectors, the 2016 quarters offered a wealth of opportunities. Uncirculated coins, proof sets, and special collector's editions were all available, catering to a wide range of interests and budgets. Coins in pristine condition, graded by organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, were particularly sought after, with high-grade examples commanding premiums in the market. Error coins from 2016 quarters also captured the imagination of collectors. Minting errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or coins struck on misaligned planchets, added an element of mystery and excitement to the hobby. These rare mistakes turned ordinary coins into highly valuable treasures, often fetching significant sums at auction. While the 2016 quarters were minted in large quantities for circulation, their value to collectors extended far beyond their face value. Each coin told a story, celebrated a unique piece of American heritage, and invited people to explore the history and natural beauty of the United States. For many, these coins became a gateway to the broader world of numismatics, a hobby that combines art, history, and economics in equal measure. Fast forward to today, and the 2016 quarters remain a popular choice for collectors. Their designs serve as reminders of the landmarks and stories that shaped America, while their presence in circulation ensures that they remain accessible to everyone. Whether you find one in your pocket change or acquire a pristine proof version for your collection, each coin carries with it a piece of history. So, the next time you come across a 2016 quarter, take a moment to appreciate its significance. From the artistry of its design to the stories it represents, it's more than just a coin. It's a testament to the enduring legacy of the United States Mint and the rich tapestry of American history.